I can't think of how to start this, so I'm gonna leave this as a placeholder and come back to it. So we're gonna go back in time for a second towards the beginning-ish of May, which was my final week of classes at school, and I'd really been itching to do another game jam because it's been nearly a year. That's fucking crazy, by the way. I'm currently very slowly, working on a different game and also trying to draw more and, do a couple other things, so one could argue this was not something I had a lot of time for, but I mean, it's only 1 week where I'd probably be doing fuck all in class, so what could really go wrong? Could you guys tell I was doing the foreship? The jam in question was the 93rd Godot Wild Jam, which kind of perfectly lined up with my time frame, and also had an interesting theme, which was a bounty, along with an optional theme that was star something, shooting star. I somehow didn't think of the more obvious interpretation of bounty being this kind of bounty. Rather, my brain just kind of went to some kind of game where you could go out and collect resources and bring home a bounty. And what I thought would be really cool is going up into space and catching onto shooting stars with a grappling hook or some shit and scooping out the goodies inside of them. The first thing I like to do when starting one of these is try to identify what's going to be the hardest things to figure out how to do in the time frame to gauge if this is a bad idea. And it absolutely was, because I got really ambitious and I wanted this to be a learn to fly type game where you come home after a day and spend your loot on upgrades, so you have a whole shop and everything, so you can go farther every following day. And doing that on top of figuring out how to do planet physics and a grappling hook and who knows what else was a horrible idea. Unfortunately, I definitely gave myself a lot of false hope early on because I was able to just steal some code for the planet physics and modify a rope plugin pretty easy to make the grappling hook. Oh, shout out by the way to this plugin. This shit was really easy to use and worked extremely well. It's just a kind of basic rope plugin, but there's just a lot of customization. I was able to, make a whole grappling hook out of it. And it was also just really nice because I tried one or two before this, and let me tell you, they did not pass any of the stress tests. But anyway, I was feeling pretty good because both of those bits were working as a base after 2 days, and by the third I had a shop coming along as well. So I was kind of feeling if I could keep up this pace, I could definitely finish in time. I was, however, cleverly lulled into a trap. Step 1 of this trap was starting on a weekend where I spent a majority of each day working on the game, so even if I had my aforementioned Nothing Burger week, I'd still be at school for 5 of those days, and it's hard to do a lot from there. I can't really draw a whole lot on my laptop or anything. Step 2 was greatly misjudging what my final week was going to look like. And I mean, I knew I had a couple projects and essays and finals and blah blah blah, but I thought they were all going to take 2 seconds. I mean, the final and the AP that I had that week did not take up that much time. I didn't study. But my projects took up all of my time after school for at least 3 days. So yeah, in general, that wasn't going very well. Step 3 was forgetting that I kind of suck at art. Specifically, I couldn't really think of how I wanted things my shop to look like. I had a couple ideas. I just couldn't get them onto the screen in a way that I liked. And the fact that I was trying to do it all as fast as I could was making it come out a lot worse, which was pissing me off, which was making me take even more time. I had a silly idea that my shop would be some kind of mad scientist in a rundown shack, but the background looked like fucking garbage. And I couldn't think of anything for the UI aside from buttons being pictures on a chalkboard, which also just looks stupid. And I couldn't draw a creepy old man that I liked either. I ended up making my main character a very simple goober so that he'd be very easy to animate. So in the end, I gave the scientist a similar theming, but I still thought he looked stupid and everything looked stupid, and the deadline finally came around while my game was honestly just still non-existent. However, I did still need material for a video, and I'm a slave to sunk costs, so I decided to give it another week. And I mean, I did get a lot done. I added all the different ores that would pop up out of the stars and made the art for them. I had to start over a couple times on these because can't go a single step of this project without having an artist crisis. But they all came out okay, and I got some UI for them, and I also made a sort of timer for the day in the form of an oxygen tank. So you either had to get back to the bottom before running out of juice, or die in space and lose half of your stuff. Honestly, as much as I felt like this game probably needed like enemies or something else to make it more than just clicking on a rock for 2 minutes at a time, I figured I could at least get the game as it is together. But there were honestly just so many small things that had to get done to make the game playable or presentable. By the time another week had gone by, I just no longer had the steam for anything. I do feel bad about leaving it like this, so I'm definitely going to try and hold myself accountable by going on record here and saying that I'll make a second video where I try to finish it. But for now, I just want to get this out so I can move on to doing other stuff, because this was something that has already taken up a lot more time than I was expecting. Hope you guys enjoyed this absolute dumpster fire of a video, because I am fucking drained. I'm just gonna go lose an Oaken Tower and call it a night, so I'll see you guys later.